edition of the world. I can't even talk, of the Real Deal podcast. The host, of course, I'm your host, of course, the real Gerald Quinn. Check out my latest podcast from yesterday, which was a mega podcast, about an hour and 26 minutes. It did not mean for it to go that long, but you know that your man likes to talk. So I came on because John Harbaugh, the now former head coach of the Baltimore Ravens, of course, has been relieved of duties after 18 years with the Ravens. Um, it came off a lot. There are a couple of people that were surprised and shocked. I was not, to be honest with you, by this move. He seemed to be disappointed by the move, but of course, Harbaugh has always been a class act. Took it in stride and was appreciative towards the organization. Listen, I told you on my podcast that it was time for him to go. 18 years is a long time. This team, sometimes you just need a different voice. You can't have a quarterback, a generational talent like Lamar Jackson, and waste those years. Harbaugh has had a phenomenal record with Baltimore. I'm looking at it right now. He goes in 18 years, 180 and 113, winning percentage of 61% of his games. That's a lot. 13 11 in a 13 11 in the playoffs. Now, the first 9 of those 13 victories came in his first 5 years of his career. So he started out 9-4. He was only 4-7 in his last few playoff appearances. Harbaugh basically had three different careers with the Ravens when you think about it. First 5 years, again, spectacular record. They're in the playoffs every year. They're winning, basically, they're good for basically 10 to 12 games a year in the playoffs. Every year, his first 5 years, not only does he go to the playoffs, he wins at least one game in the playoffs, including going to a couple of conference championships. So he goes to a conference championship in 2008 and goes to a conference championship in 2012. Of course, he wins the Super Bowl in 2012 when they went on the road. I believe they went on the road and won all three games on the road leading up to the Super Bowl in 2012. So got off to a spectacular start in his career. But from 2013 to 2017, he only makes the playoffs once, including 3 straight years of not making the playoffs up until Lamar Jackson getting drafted in 2018. So he almost got fired in 2017. He almost was on. He almost was out of there in 2017. You get Lamar Jackson, and next thing you know, he's in the playoffs 6 out of his last 8 years, but with a two-time MVP, with a guy who is universally regarded as one of the top 2 to 3 quarterbacks in the league. You only win 3 playoff games in 8 years, and that, frankly, is just not good enough, including no Super Bowl appearances. They got to a conference championship in 2023. We know what happened. They lost to a Kansas City team, which they were clearly better than and should have won that game and should have won that. That was their best chance to win the Super Bowl in 2023. They were clearly better than the Kansas City Chiefs, but Lamar Jackson was terrible in that game, and Kansas City did what Kansas City does to Baltimore, and did to Buffalo in the playoffs, and that was beat them. So, we get fast forward to this year. They came in with Super Bowl expectations. And really the last 2 years, the last 2 years, this team was absolutely loaded. Now, this year, maybe the team wasn't as talented as we thought it was, but still, they had by far the best talent in that division, and there was no way in the world that they should not, even with Lamar Jackson missing games, that they should not have won that division, gone, excuse me, won that division going away and made the playoffs. So, listen, 18 years is a long time. Bill Parcells always said, once you get past 10 years, you're on borrowed time as a head coach. He always believed that 10-year mark was basically it for a head coach. Like that's a long time. And again, if you're Baltimore, you have again one of the most dynamic players in the NFL. You cannot waste Lamar Jackson years because you don't know when next time. You don't know when you're going to get your next franchise quarterback. You just don't know. You go ask the Miami Dolphins. Go ask Cleveland. Basically, has never had one. Well, since Otto Graham. Let's be honest. Yeah, Bernie Kosar was decent. He sure as hell hadn't had one since Bernie Kosar, but there's been a number of these franchises that can't find a quarterback. So when you do get one, you better damn sure make the most of it, especially a guy who you can win a Super Bowl with. And I'm convinced that you still can win a Super Bowl with Lamar Jackson as your quarterback. Period, point blank. Harbaugh does not get enough credit, I believe, for winning the championship with Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco was not a great quarterback. Joe Flacco was not this can't miss product. Yeah, I believe he came from Delaware, played at Delaware. He was not this can't miss product coming out of college. They developed him. He was a excellent playoff performer and a average regular season performer. So John Harbaugh does not get nearly enough credit for winning a Super Bowl with that guy at quarterback. Period. So he deserves a ton of credit for that. I think moving forward, if you're John Harbaugh, and I'll get to the Baltimore aspect of this in a second. If you're John Harbaugh, I would probably sit out this year, to be honest with you. There's no can't miss job that's available. The best job that's available right now is Atlanta. Atlanta has some talent, but I'm sorry, I haven't seen enough out of Michael Penix to say that he can be that guy to possibly lead me to a Super Bowl. I'm sorry. Next year could be a different story because there are 3 jobs that I think could potentially be open next year: Washington, Green Bay, and Kansas City. If Dan Quinn has another year like he had this year, he will be gone. Period, point blank. He'll be gone. This ownership is not playing around. They're serious about winning. They're serious about trying to win a Super Bowl. They're serious about changing the culture, especially with John Harbaugh available. A guy like Harbaugh available, they won't hesitate to get rid of Dan Quinn if he has another year where he misses the playoffs. Green Bay, if Matt LaFleur flames out in the playoffs this year, doesn't win a playoff game, and goes next year and either doesn't make the playoffs or doesn't win a playoff game next year, he will be gone with John Harbaugh available. And the last one with Kansas City, at some point, Andy Reid is not going to coach anymore. Like, Andy Reid is 68 years old. I think he'll probably be 69 he will be 69. His birthday is the same day that my mom's birthday is, March 19th. He'll be 69 his next birthday. At some point, it's going to be like, hey, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. I don't know it will be after this year, but take this in consideration. Harbaugh and Andy Reid are tight. Harbaugh, of course, coached under Andy Reid in Philadelphia as a special teams coach. Andy Reid absolutely had a factor in terms of John Harbaugh, advocated for John Harbaugh to get that job in Baltimore. So I wouldn't be surprised if Andy Reid was like, hey, I want John Harbaugh to be my successor as head coach. That would not surprise me. I'm not saying those conversations have taken place, but it would not surprise me. So if I'm John Harbaugh, I'm chilling right now. I do a year of television. He has the personality for it. He's going to be getting paid regardless, and take it from there. I would not take any one of these jobs that are currently open. I'm sorry. I'm not doing a reclamation project. I have to have a ready-made a quarterback that I feel like I can win a championship with. not taking a job just for the sake of taking a job. As far as Baltimore goes, Baltimore, they obviously are still one of the top organizations in all of football. They have one of the top quarterbacks in all of football. They this right now, this by far and away is the most attractive open job in the NFL. It's not even close. I don't see them going the college route. I think that would be out. Maybe possibly if Cignetti wins the championship with Indiana, he might get a call from Baltimore. I don't think it would happen, but if they were to go the college route, he would be the only guy that I could see them turning their head, going, calling up, trying to pry away from, trying to get out of college. I think they're gonna go the route of experience, probably a former head coach. This is a ready-made team. Brian Flores, Stefanski from Cleveland. Despite the fact that he just got fired, he is highly respected around the league. A lot of these lists, he's the number one coaching candidate available on some of these lists. He took Cleveland to the playoffs twice, won 2-time Coach of the Year. So it didn't end well this year, but Cleveland is a shit show of an organization. So I don't hold that against Stefanski. I don't see them going the route of Mike McCarthy. I think if they do go the retread route, it will be a younger retread. It will be a retread that hasn't bounced around more than once. Possibly like a Brian Flores, or they could go the mentor out of from San Diego, not San Diego, from the LA Chargers. Yeah, again, they have their choice. They will have their pick of the litter as far as the top, the best of the best in terms of candidates. This job is a phenomenal job. That's a great fan base. It's a great culture. It's a great organization. Bisciotti is a one of the best owners in all of football. He does not get involved as far as like trying to be super hands-on. He hires good people, lets them do their job, and stays out the way for the most part. And stays out the way. So this is a perfect situation if you're for a coach to walk into. To be honest with you, you have a top general manager. I don't care what anybody like. There were a couple of people saying that the general manager probably should have been fired too. I'm like, based off what they've acquired, that team is still talented. You want to say they need upgrades on the defensive line? Sure. You want to say they need to tweak the offensive line? Okay. That roster is still still an above average roster that does not need a lot in order to be back in the mix to win possibly challenge or win the Super Bowl. It doesn't. They still have some, and they'll have some. They had a number of injuries to the defense for some of their defensive personnel, including their top pass rusher from last year. So Harbaugh is out. We'll see where he lands. We'll see what Baltimore does as far as the coaching situation. If you're the New York Giants, you absolutely have to make the call to Harbaugh. Like they for whatever reason wanted to keep their coach. Again, the Giants are have become one of the worst organizations in all of in the NFL, if not all of sports, but definitely in the NFL. So they don't know what the fuck they're doing. But if you're the Giants, you have to make the call to Harbaugh. That's going to wrap it up. I will see you next time on the next edition of the Real Deal Podcast. Enjoy the rest of your evening.